There are different compartments to your voice called registers. It's the same sort of thing as registers on an instrument or positions on an instrument. It's kind of like gears in a car. If you've been in a car with a manual transmission and they're shifting through gears, your voice has the same idea as well. And so singing in one part of your voice is going to sound and feel very different than singing in another part of your voice. And if I sing in the wrong part of my voice for the range that I'm working on, it can produce some pretty bad results. Here's what I mean. We're going to use the solfege scale as an example, and I'm going to sing in my lower register, what we call chest voice, up too high. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. It just gets tight and shouty, and no one likes that sound. So you need to be able to navigate these different compartments to your voice. It may be a little weird at first, but you'll start to get used to it. So the two main ones that we're going to talk about are your lower register, which we sometimes call your chest voice, and your upper register, which we sometimes call your head voice. Now, both of them are coming from your throat. They're both your voice, but that's sort of where people feel the sound a little bit more. You use both of these in your regular life. If you're going to just be talking to someone normally, most of the time, especially guys, are going to be speaking in their chest voice. I'm speaking in my chest voice right now. There are certain times that you would speak in your head voice. So in my chest voice, I might shout out, hey! But if I'm, shouting at a game, woo! That's going to be an upper range. Also, depending on who I'm talking to. If I go somewhere and I see a kid looking around worriedly with tears in their eyes, I might walk up to them and say, hey, how's it going? Are you okay? And that's my head voice. So there's different compartments to your voice. As we sing, we need to use both of those. So if you're only using one, you're not going to have nearly as big of a range as you otherwise would. It's, for most people, easier to find their head voice and then go down to their chest voice than it is to start at their head voice and go up to their chest voice. So we're going to start at the top of our scale, do, and there's pretty much no way I'm going to be able to sing that in my chest voice. It's going to be nice and high head voice. Do. For ladies, that's up here. Oh, sorry, I'm in a different key. There we go. I'll get into this key. For ladies, it's here. For guys, it's here. Do, do would be our bottom one. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do would be our top one. That's the scale we're working with right now. So I'm going to start at the top. Do. Nice open head voice. So deep low breath. Lots of space. Lots of air. Sing. Do. Now we're going to sing the scale going down. Breathe. Do, ti, la, sol, fa, mi, re, do. And I started to shift to my from my head voice to my chest voice during that. If I had sung the whole thing in my head voice, do, ti, la, sol, fa, mi, re, do, I wouldn't be able to sing the low notes because it's in a different part of my voice. And just like a second ago, I tried to sing the whole thing in my chest voice and it sounded like Tarzan at the end of it. So you have to find a place to switch. I'll show you this time going up and going down, and I'll try to make it nice and obvious where I'm switching. You see if you can figure out where it is. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Where do you think I switched over? It was on so, right? Now you can make that more seamless with practice, but first of all, it's just better to find the moment to switch. If you start to hear yourself or feel yourself getting tense, then you need to switch earlier. Here's what I mean. I switched on so this time, but next time I'll switch on la, and then you'll see I'll start to get a little tense. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la. Could you hear how so was tight? We didn't really like that sound. So if I feel a note getting tense, I'll try to switch earlier. Now, what does it feel like? Well, it's lighter, it's freer. It might seem a little bit breathier at first, but with practice you can get it to not be quite so breathy. So work on those things. And again, when in doubt, think about your normal speaking voice. Hey, how's it going, right? That's low. And the, oh, what an adorable little kitty cat, right? That's the high one. And think everyone has those differences in their registers and different compartments to their voice. So you have them both. But for some people, one of them might be huge and another one might be really small. You might not even get used to that. Especially my younger students, you probably are used to spending almost all your time in one register, and the other one is kind of foreign for you. But don't worry, we'll find it together. Okay? Let's start and do the ascending scale. We're going to walk our way up, and we're going to find that moment where we flip over from our chest voice to our head voice. Ready? Breathe and sing. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Did you find it? Hopefully you did. If it was too tense, try switching a little bit earlier. If you still can't find your head voice, go, ah. That light sigh, that very beginning of the sigh, ah, that's your head voice. Now, if you keep going on the sigh, ah, that's going to end at your chest voice. So you can feel the difference between those two. One more time, and then we'll move on. Deep breath, good posture, good vowel, go. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Now let's do the descending one, where you just lightly float down. Do, ti, la, sol, fa, mi, re, do. And by the end of it, you're at your chest voice. Let's do it together. Breathe and do, ti, la, sol, fa, mi, re, do. And if you do it really gradually and really smoothly, you may not even feel or notice where you switch. You'll just notice by the end you are. Be careful if you get da, di, la, so, fa, right? That's when you're letting it drop too low, too soon. Think about it just floating down. Some people even think it's really beneficial to raise their hand up as they're going down and avoid this sense of it falling and going under the pitch. Let's do it together. Breathe, breathe, sing. Do, ti, la, sol, fa, mi, re, do. So we just spent a lot of time working on registers, on the compartments to our voice. And this is going to be something that's going to take practice. You'll probably have to watch this video several times for you to really get comfortable with the concepts that we're going through. And that's perfectly all right. One of the things you need to keep in mind with singing is that you can't cram, you can't learn these skills instantly. It's going to take time and practice, but it's worth the time and the effort you put into it.